Next up on the 2FM Rising list for 2024 is producer DJ from Kerry. It's SHEE. Welcome to the list.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does this mean something to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been following this list for a couple of years, and I've kind of like always been like, geez, it'd be amazing to, you know, be a part of this. So yeah, it's a huge honour. So thank you so much.
You're a producer, DJ. You've got like streaming numbers that are massive on Spotify and all streaming services. How long are you producing music?
So I started when I was about 14. So I've been at it a good while. I was actually producing before I started DJing. So yeah, what is that? Over 10, 15 years now. So yeah, it's my life. I absolutely love it. You know, if I don't go like a couple of days without producing, you know, I feel lost. Like, so, yeah, it's just like such a huge passion of mine since 14, I guess.
And when you were 14, who did you look up to music wise?
Oh, back then it was like, you know, it was all EDM music and stuff, like, you know, so it was like Martin Garrix and stuff was coming up. You know, I can't even remember, like all them Avicii. It was a big one when I was when I was like 14, 15, because that was so big at the time, you know. But then, like, you know, that kind of sound just disappeared from my life. I just didn't really, you know, listen to it that much anymore, and then kind of moved into, like, you know, house music and stuff like that. So yeah, they were kind of inspirations, I guess. I
read a quote that said you were raised on disco, house music and Guinness.
And Guinness, yeah.
That's not a bad diet.
That's true, yeah. No, I only got into like kind of disco housey stuff when I was like 17, 18, kind of the same time I guess I got into Guinness. So yeah, I always got a raise on that since.
So producing in Kerry, you grew up in Killarney.
Killarney, yeah.
I always feel that when people are in their teens and producing in their bedrooms, it's like a lonely lifestyle. Where did you connect with other like-minded people?
Yeah, that's a good question, because like it is lonely, but at the same time for me it's like my safe space, you know, and it's my place to kind of nearly escape from people, I guess, you know. So like a lot of people, especially, you know, coming up when I was younger, you know, you start to connect with like groups of people that, like, you know, are producing the same kind of stuff to you. Like, you know, back a couple of years ago there was a massive like disco and house scene in like Ireland, and I was like releasing it on a channel called W, which is like a lot of like, you know, Irish artists. There was only Irish artists on it. And we started kind of connecting through that, I guess. And then, you know, you'd go and play a gig and you'd start meeting these people, you know, face to face. And like, you know, there's a really like, you know, solid kind of community for like bedroom producers in Ireland, like, you know, and there still is, because I still technically call myself a bedroom producer. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You just said there a second ago that you feel the need to produce every couple of days.
Yeah.
Like it obviously is.
It's like an itch that needs to be.
Of being.
Yeah.
It's the itch that you have to scratch. Fred again and people like Phineas have been going around with their phones recording sounds and doing things like that. What is your process?
See, my process, I sample a lot of stuff as well. And I like my process kind of like varies from what samples I find and, you know, what I come across like on the internet and, you know, day-to-day life as well. You know, even like if you walk into a shop and you hear a tune, I'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool, I could sample that, you know. So that's kind of it. I've done like kind of recordings as well of like being, you know, at like a house party or, you know, at one of my friends' house, and I just like, they'd be talking, I'd just like put down the phone and like, you know, they'd start, you know, just kind of talking and I'd sample that. I've done one with my friend down in Kinsale where he was just like a bit drunk and he was just talking and he was literally saying like the most like the best things as well about music, and I was like, I have to put that down to a tune. So I actually have a tune called For Friends with one of my friends just talking about how much he loves music, and it was a really kind of nice track to like make, you know.
Love that. In Limerick, when you went to Limerick, then you started people in Limerick will probably know this, the touch of techno.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we started it, it was like first year of college, second year college, I think. Yeah, and it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my career, because I met like my good colleague Chaz Maloney. Me and him just like met, like, again, it was at a house party and we just like both loved tunes. We were like, oh well, we should start, you know, like, you know, running like an event. But like our events, we thought were just house parties, you know. We're like, oh, everyone come over and we'll DJ for a couple of hours, you know. And then we got lucky we met someone and he brought us into a club and we started running gigs in there. started booking like international artists and all, and again just like connected with a lot of other people in the Irish music scene. So if it wasn't for that, like I feel like the past couple of years now, from the connections I've made through Touch Techno, they've really, really benefited my career. So yeah, I'm very happy to be a part of it.
You did a beautiful remix for the summer of 2023, the Shiv remix.
Oh yeah, I really
Tell
liked
us
that
about
song.
that.
Yeah, just Shiv got on to me and we just we sent over the stems. It was a very quick kind of experience, because like the moment I heard like the stems, I was like, okay, I just know exactly what I really want to do with this tune. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with that song. It was one of the ones that I made, and like when I listened back, I was like, oh, I don't know about it. But then like all of like Shiv's team absolutely loved it, and then now when I actually listen, I'm like, oh no, it actually is an alright tune.
Gorgeous! It's absolutely gorgeous. It really is.
Thanks so much.
So obviously you're on the rising list for 2024, but something else that was massive that happened not too long ago was that Fred Again played one of your tracks.
Yeah, I know.
Mental. And what song was it?
So it was over in LA. I'm not too sure what club it was, or was a pretty big place anyway. That's what I know from the video. And the track was Get Loose. So it was, just outrageous, to be honest. Like, it happened only like a couple of days ago, and just woke up and I was tagged in a video online. And it was just him bopping to my tune, and I was like, "That is insane!" Yeah, mad. I still haven't gotten over it, to be honest.
And you can see traction. Maybe you have a few new followers, a few new people who are interested in more stuff that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten a lot of people messaging me, a lot of like people from school that I haven't talked in years and stuff, that like obviously follow him. That like have messaged me like, oh, I've been following your journey and stuff, keep going and all this. And I'm like, geez, that's really nice to hear. Like,
well, you've made it now because you played Fred Again. You're probably like, people are like, well, who's this fella that's doing the DJing?
Yeah.
Fred Again played his tune.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So what was your favourite gig out of all the gigs you did this year in Ireland? What was your favourite?
I probably would say Electric Picnic. I played 2 sets at Electric Picnic, so it was kind of a toss up between the two. I played the Rave in the Woods on the Sunday, and I played the Heineken stage on the Saturday. The Heineken one was all kind of like disco house. It was like the sun was shining, there was like just drinks flowing. Like all I had to do was play a few disco tunes. Everyone was going to be in good form anyway, but it was unreal. And then the Rave in the Woods is like a set that I've always wanted to play all my life, since going to festivals since 2014 or 15. I've always been like, oh, I'd love to play there, and I didn't think I'd ever get the opportunity to actually play, especially with the music that I normally play is kind of more housey stuff, and then Rave in the Woods obviously is a bit more heavy. But when I got the call up, I was shaking. I was so nervous, but it went brilliant. It's just the funny thing about the Rave in the Woods is that if it's a very high up stage, so like I was so far away from the crowd that like when I finished playing, I was like, turned to my friends, I was like, was that good?
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know, because you can't hear the crowd, or you can't even hear like a woo or anything,
You didn't know whether they were loving it as well?
No, I didn't know, but I got a lot of messages, and I put up the setup onto my SoundCloud and got loads of responses from it, so I think it went well anyway.
I love that. Can I actually ask a question about the Rave in the Woods? I can never find it.
I know.
I can never find it. But if you're playing there, do they bring you to it, or have you to go look for it yourself?
No, I actually had to go looking for it myself as well, and I nearly missed it as well. So. Yeah. I nearly missed it. I actually left it way too late, and then by the time that I arrived, I'd say I had 5 minutes, but sure, it's up in a scaffolding, so I was like, I have another about 15 minutes to get up this thing. But I made it just like a minute or two after, but it was grand.
Well, listen, SHEE, thank you so much for popping into us today. We're delighted to have you on the list for 2024. Continued success, and you never know, maybe that collab with Fred Again can happen now. You never know what's going to happen. So. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
We can't wait to have you now perform for 2FM stages around the country this year. So.
Unreal. Thank you. It's brilliant. Thanks so much for having me. It's a complete honour, and I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.